So guys, welcome back to the channel. Of course, it is currently transfer deadline day and a lot has been happening around the Celtic space. A lot of news to cover in today's video, and in particular I want to discuss the ongoing transfer saga surrounding Arne Engels. Of course, for the longest time this transfer window, Nottingham Forest have been pursuing him, and they've now submitted their third bid of this transfer window. Truly astonishing stuff. The figures on show here are absolutely crazy. And yeah, let's get into this story. My phone is going off. I've got my notifications on during this transfer deadline day, and a lot is happening. So yeah, let's get into this story with regard to Arne Engels. So Sky Sports Scotland put a tweet out saying, breaking news, Nottingham Forest have made a third bid worth £25 million for Celtic midfielder Arne Engels. Now, this is their third bid. I believe the one before was 17 million and the one before that was around 12, 13 million. And this is a lot of money. And when I initially saw this just a few minutes ago, I thought, Celtic would bite the hand off Nottingham Forest here and take that deal. However, in some more breaking news, it now seems that Celtic have rejected Nottingham Forest's latest bid for Arne Engels, which of course was worth up to £25 million. This one's quite a controversial one. I'm not too sure what you guys think of Celtic rejecting this type of money. It's a lot of money. My only kind of thoughts would be that they rejected it due to the kind of the clauses in place. I doubt it was £25 million up front. I reckon it was more structured, and that would be the total sum if all the things were to take place. But here's the full story on the Sky Sports website here. So this is, I believe, was just before it was rejected. It said Nottingham Forest have stepped up their pursuit of Celtic midfielder Arne Engels on deadline day with a £25 million bid. Forest have seen two previous offers for the 22-year-old rejected, and of course Celtic weighing up bid for their club record signing. So the Premier League club wants to pay a guaranteed fee of £20 million for Engels with £5 million in add-ons. Celtic are believed to be mulling over the offer for their club record signing. They rejected Forest's first two bids for the 22-year-old with a previous offer £17.3 million. Now, when I saw that bid initially, I thought that was quite a lot of money as well for Arne Engels. Of course, we paid big bucks for him initially when he came to Celtic. And, he has kind of split opinions on whether or not he was worth that transfer fee. But I feel like maybe the board see a brighter future for Arne Engels in Celtic, and they want some more money for the player. And I think it's the right move in my opinion, because we're seeing some of the ridiculous fees that a lot of the Premier League clubs are making for players that are not deserving of it. I saw one the other day with Crystal Palace trying to sign a Wolves striker called Strand Larsen, and this guy scored one goal all season in the Premier League, and they're bidding £50 million for him. So Premier League money is inflated. I think Celtic know that. A lot of the teams in Scotland now know that as well, and they know they can get more out of these teams. And I think it's the right move to reject £20 million for him. Maybe, of course, as it is transfer deadline day, they'll come in for a fourth bid, and hopefully one that maybe is a lot more lucrative for Celtic. So yeah, Engels was signed from Augsburg for £11 million in August 2024. He has 2.5 years left on his contract with Celtic. So there's no real rush to come to the decision. And of course, he's only young still. He's 22 years old, and he's got a bright future ahead of him. And hopefully that will be at Celtic, unless the right price is submitted for him. But I'm very interested in your thoughts. Do you think Celtic are making the right call here, rejecting a third bid worth £25 million? It's a lot of money to turn away. It's a risky one, but I do believe it will be worth a lot more than that. And I think Celtic are making the right choice, in my personal opinion. Of course, he's our club record signing, and £25 million for me quite isn't enough. But it is good to see that they are coming back and again, and we are not accepting low transfer fees. So that is the latest here. Celtic have rejected Nottingham Forest's latest bid for Arne Engels, which is worth up to £25 million. Some people here saying stuff. He's worth £2.5 million after showing this season. Celtic probably holding out for £25 million up front plus add-ons. I still think we should get more from him than that. I know he's not had the best season so far, but the guy's got a lot of potential. He's got a bright future, and he'll be one of those players that we do sell in the future, and he will go on to do great things. I truly believe that. But yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting transfer story for sure. But of course, it being transfer deadline day, that isn't the only story to cover in today's video. So, Celtic striker Johnny Kenny is set to make a move to Bolton Wanderers with a deal expected to be a loan, though it's not yet confirmed whether there is a permanent option included. Kenny has found first-time opportunities hard to come by at Parkhead and currently sits low in the striker pecking order behind the likes of Thomas, Iheanacho and Maida, all of whom have featured prominently in recent weeks. The Irish forward has shown promise, but is currently down on the pecking order, not really taking his chance. Despite that, Bolton remain keen to finalise the deal before the window closes, having previously shown interest in him during the summer. So this was the initial tweet that sparked this kind of speculation. Getting word of free loan deals for Irish players that are in the mix today. Andy Moran to Preston from Brighton, Johnny Kenny heading from Bolton from Celtic. So the move to League One would offer Kenny more consistent minutes, of course, and a chance to reignite his form in a competitive environment, with Celtic still active in the transfer market. Now, with regards to us being active in the transfer market, Celtic did put a bid in for a player, however, which was accepted. However, the player himself actually rejected the move. So, Celtic's move for Faris Ghedjemis has ended, with the winger staying at Frosinone for the remainder of the season. So, Daily Record report that the decision came from the player, despite Celtic having an offer of around £6 million accepted by the Serie B side. So for a period, the deal looked on track. Celtic had reached an agreement with Frosinone and believed he would be keen to move to Glasgow. The 23-year-old had previously been open to the idea of moving to Scotland. As the winter progressed, his thinking shifted. He's understood to have taken a step back and decided to stay in Italy, committing himself to Frosine's push for promotion. During the second half of the season, with the club well placed in Serie B, he continues to play regularly and knows his role from week to week. So yeah, a bit of a transfer blow there as well, of course. Quite a weird one as well. He's rejecting a move to Celtic, who are of course in Europe, and he's staying with a Serie B side. Quite a strange decision, but I suppose he's in good form. His team look like they might get promoted this season, so he wants to stick by them. So yeah, don't really understand that in my personal opinion. All the deals were done between the clubs, and the player just opted out of that move in the end. A strange position, and we'll see how he progresses in his career going forward. But of course, the main story of today is that Celtic have rejected a third bid from Nottingham Forest for Arne Engels, which was worth up to £25 million. Now, look, it's the transfer deadline day. There may be more videos coming, depending on what happens. Maybe Nottingham Forest come back in for a fourth bid, one that suits Celtic's expectations. But of course, Nottingham Forest themselves are struggling this season. They are battling around the bottom of the table in the Premier League in a bit of a relegation battle. And it'll be interesting to see if Arne Engels fancies his chances in staying at Celtic, or he wants to go to Forest if a deal was to be agreed between the two clubs. But guys, of course, let us know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Would you accept £20 million plus £5 million in add-ons for Engels, or would you hold out for more money, or do you believe he's still got more to prove at Celtic? He can still be a good player for us and maybe sell him for double that price in a few years' time. Let us know down below in the comment section. If you haven't yet already, make sure you do like this video, make sure you do subscribe, and thank you. Take care. Goodbye.